Today, we're talking about an intense film, brutal in its pacing and profoundly human. Runaway Train with Jon Voight, an action drama film that goes beyond chases. Instead, it confronts you with difficult decisions when life throws you curveballs. Let's begin with the setting, a maximum security prison, rigid, cold, and with that oppressive normality of the places where hope withers. There's Manny, played by Jon Voight, a hardened prisoner, full of internal wounds, yet possessing a savage pride that does not easily bend. Manny is no angel. He's been through court, punishments, and years behind bars. But what the film achieves very well is that you understand without justifying everything. What has he done? Why is his mind obsessed with an idea that has become central to him? To go far away, to regain some control, to leave behind a system that feels inflexible and always on the edge. Beside him is a less experienced and more confused companion, and something strange is born between them, powerful, a bond that grows stronger with adversity. When an opportunity to escape arises, nothing goes smoothly. The exit is chaotic and fast-paced, and both of them get caught up in it, in a chain of events that suddenly takes him to a train that no longer follows ordinary routes. What would seem like a conventional leak quickly transforms into something very different, a planned one-way trip, an out-of-control machine, and a race against the natural elements, limited time, and authorities who also have their own agenda. The film is famous for its pure narrative inertia. Once that runaway train gets going, it practically never lets go. No matter how many escape and chase stories you've seen, there's an urgency here, growing with that feeling that any mistake will be costly, and no plan is safe, no matter how much that seems routine. At the same time, the central focus shifts between survival and the weight of the past elections. Against icy and laughable landscapes, the characters not only grapple with the immediate danger, but also with versions of themselves they prefer to forget. It turns action into a mirror. When there are no longer external structures dictating who you are, what remains is your character, your fears, your inner turmoil, and also your ability to adapt, or of repeating old patterns. I'm telling you this carefully. It's intense moments that the uncomfortable and extreme situations, but they don't wallow in pain for the sake of fashion. Instead, they know how to stay in that edge where you want to continue because you sense that the rewards and risks are on the same side package. Let's talk to the director to understand why it remains so powerful, Andrzej Chokobolski. Although his biography is extensive and full of projects in different film industries, here his talent for portraying characters confronted with an inevitable machine shines through. Literal and symbolic, and so that the editing, framing, and rhythm do not become repetitive, but rather in an emotional development. Chokobolski had to grapple with difficult decisions in his visual focus. I didn't want to underline everything with melodramatic music or decorative scenes. His style is usually rooted in the logic of the situation. First the problem, then the consequences. Then the discussion is silenced, glances are exchanged. Thus, the train becomes a character that it imposes its own order on human lives, and the drama intensifies because every advance it seems to be won through internal and external struggles. The photography emphasizes the harshness of the environment. Snow, iron, rusted metal, closed skies. There's a raw texture with demanding light that captivates you. Reflections, track closures, cold drafts, details that make the danger palpable, organic, not artificial. That visual treatment greatly helps you connect with the idea of that in that world, constant affliction erodes illusions in bursts of pride. And of course, the central role falls to Jon Voight, who came from a career with ups and downs and who here delivers a performance that earned him an Oscar nomination. Voight already had a self-referential presence on screen, learned how to portray tiredness, cunning, and that mix of toughness with the fragility that appears when a man finally finds himself free of ties and without any certainty. In Runaway Train's work relies heavily on meaningful pauses. It doesn't scream to be dangerous. He doesn't exaggerate to gain sympathy. He gradually builds a complex character with imperfect decisions. Sumani is memorable because it doesn't ask permission to exist. It imposes itself with a physical intensity and the moral lesson that remains in the memory, especially in scenes where he has to negotiate with rivals, with the real world, and even more so with his own history. There's a curious detail that often happens unnoticed. Many of the most challenging sequences involved extreme coordination with real locomotives, train drivers, track operators, and logistics to simulate the feeling's speed without compromising safety. The film took advantage of the advances of the time in practical effects and action planning, And that's why the vertigo reaches you more as an experience. It's like a trick. It's not exactly a train documentary, but it definitely feels authentic. You can tell. There is knowledge behind it, and that attention to reality is often the best ally against tension. Furthermore, the cast and atmosphere aren't limited to the single protagonist. There are secondary characters with their own logic, people along the way responding with order, fear, or bureaucracy, and that the story expands. The train carries social, political, and human consequences, as if from the train cars could also transport different versions of what justice means, punishment, or second chances. The film had a complex production process, and it was associated with important nominations, and is always mentioned when talking about great performances from the 80s. It's not a film for casual audiences, but yes, a recurring classic in conversations among people who valued consistent characters in the middle of convincing actions. There is an interesting artistic curiosity. Although the intention is pure adrenaline, towards the end there remains something like an elegy, a reflection on what is lost, what is pursued, and what can never be recovered. They find an intense ending that leaves you wondering, questions about the price of the exhaust. It's also worth remembering something practical. Its rhythm can feel like a classic format, today with fewer frenetic cuts and more human development. And precisely that's why it works so well if you want to see a movie that balances action and substance, allowing the risks to carry weight, not just for the immediate spectacle. Why should you see it? Because it's an experience like anything real. Tension, good characters, and a story who is not satisfied with the surface of a mere hearing. Because Jon Voight here is in one of those jobs,
which are self-explanatory, firmly sustaining a difficult journey, laden with honest slogans and imperfect decisions. Because leadership ensures that the movement progresses meaningfully, staying alert without losing sight of the humanity of those who experience it. And because when it ends, that echo of an old idea remains, yet it's always relevant. When a life enters a dangerous phase, not only does your destiny change, but what you thought you were is also put to the test. If this review captivated you, subscribe to the channel, leave a like, and tell me what escape stories you enjoyed. Which chase scene has affected you the most? Were you familiar with Runaway Train? Had you ever seen it?